flag burns in Los Angeles with the president, and Trump backs this proposal. Now, in the past, similar proposals have been introduced, but have gone nowhere given the legal complexities surrounding First Amendment rights. But Hawley argues that this would not protect speech, that the protection should not apply when it's tied to criminal acts like rioting and burning the flag. It has not been introduced yet on the House floor.
The third thing takes place this weekend. Speaking of the flag, how about instead of burning the flag, we actually celebrate the flag? That's what they will be doing on Flag Day in Appleton. The 74th Appleton Flag Day Parade returns tomorrow, the 74th. Started in 1950. Wouldn't that make it the 75th? It's the oldest flag parade in the nation. 50,000 spectators will be on hand for the parade. I love this part about the Flag Day Parade in Appleton. The parade grand marshal is the same every year. The parade marshal is the United States flag. So they choose someone else to ride in the first car, but they ride with the flag, and they say the parade marshal is the flag. This year, the person riding with the flag is Robert Mace. Robert has stood at the intersection of Mary and Pacific Streets during the flag parade for more than 20 years. He holds a Marine Corps flag and a U.S. flag. He is a Marine Corps vet. He says, I noticed a couple years ago this was a quiet intersection and no one was honoring the men, the women, the bands as they came through. So he said, I started doing it 20 years ago. I'm emotional and honored that I will be sitting next to the American flag in the very first car. That's Appleton's Flag Day Parade. It is tomorrow. I love that. Starts at 2 o'clock if you're going to be up in that neck of the woods. It would be a great thing to take your kids to. By the way, I love your sweater. Text the word watch to 855-616-1620.
I'll turn around for you all to see.
Yeah. Look at this right now. Julie has a beautiful red sweater, and that's really gorgeous. And the American flag is on the back. I love that. That is so sweet. That is awesome. Perfect day for that.
Okay, I'm going to sit back down, but you can always rewind it if you text watch and you can see it.
Check it out. It's worth it. It's 3:13. We've got more on the flag, by the way, coming up, and patriotic stuff during this Friday before Flag Day. A Johnny Cash song that I think really captures the essence of the flag. We'll share that with you. And I was out at the Lance Sidejohn Memorial this morning. They are starting to refurbish the plane. The teams are there working on the airplane. I've got it for you. That's coming up. 3 at 3 is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. Check them out at flanners.com. Just press play.
Does music matter to you?
Flanners Home Entertainment wants to help you have the best music experience at home. They've got high-quality products, the best prices, and high-fidelity expertise for the best sound in and outside your home. Now is a great time to shop Flanners with their Music Matters sale event. All speakers, all amplifiers, receivers, turntables, CD players, music streamers, and accessories are on sale. Visit Flanners Home Entertainment today in West Allis, Grafton, or at flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Flanners.
Just press play.
John Mercure here for Fello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When it's time to upgrade your windows or your doors or maybe both, wouldn't you like to work with the best? The best is Pella. And I know what you're thinking, right? Stock market, volatility, all that stuff, and you don't want to spend a fortune. Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. They will work with you. And right now's the time to do it. You get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. So if the plan's to wait, guess what? You can get it now and wait to start making payments for up to 2 years. Pella believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be super expensive. With a wide range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at the price you can afford. Our door is on order, and we've actually just set the date they're going to install it through Pella. I am so excited. Pella's free in-home consultation, no obligation quotes, and range of available financing makes getting new windows and doors from Pella easier than you think. Certain restrictions apply. Ends June 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Loziga. Hey there.
Hey there, southbound on 41. We've got an incident right now. Basically, Appleton Avenue's off ramp to 41 southbound. if you can understand that one. It is closed right now because of an incident. So you want to be extra careful heading through that area. On the main line of I-41, we've got delays from Good Hope Road, pretty much all the way down past Appleton Avenue. You're back on the brakes from Silver Spring down to Burleigh. Northbound, we've got backups from Watertown Plank Road all the way up to Hampton. Also, westbound 94, we're seeing delays from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. More delays out past Highway 16. You'll really start to see the delays just before Meadowbrook Road, and they let up around Elmhurst. We've got eastbound 94 backing up just before 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 55 degrees. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, but now they're saying dry, a high of 78. On Sunday, partly sunny for your Father's Day. Maybe a chance for rain late in the day, a high of 81. On Monday, chance for afternoon showers, a high of 83. On Tuesday, another chance for rain, a high of 82 degrees. Kind of cool right now for this time of year. In Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 63 degrees.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast is sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDrakeCamp.com. All
right, so Donald Trump warning Israel that you need I'm sorry, I misspoke. Donald Trump warning Iran, you need to get it together. You need to negotiate. You need to make things happen. Israel attacks Iran about 18 hours ago, and now Israel has missiles raining down on their land. Shannon Kingston, ABC News with the State Department, is with us. Shannon, let's start there and maybe work backwards. What is happening right now in Israel?
Well, it does look like Israel is experiencing at least a temporary reprieve. Citizens there have been given the all clear. They've been allowed to leave shelters, but they've been instructed by their government to stay close. We do not know if this is the end of Iran's retaliation for now. And so now, as the dust is settling in Israel, authorities there are trying to get a sense of how much damage was caused by this latest barrage of missiles. We know that dozens, but less than 100 were fired. Many are expected to have been intercepted by both Israeli defenses and the U.S. military that came to Israel's assistance here. But we're also seeing videos and images of smoke plumes, what appears to be damage to civilian buildings as well. And the Israeli defense minister said that Iran crossed red lines when it fired. And a little bit, there have been two major Israeli strikes on Iran that took out some of its missile capabilities. And then, of course, there were the strikes overnight that were much, much larger than anything we've seen in recent history. But clearly, it does appear that Iran was able to mount a significant counterattack here. And really, each time Iran has fired at Israel, it has been a bit of a prayer going out, because even though Israel, the technology is there, the U.S. military is behind the country, really it just takes one missile, creeping through defenses to really cause a lot of damage.
All right, Shannon, let's go to what started this whole thing. It's Israel raiding Iran, attacking Iran. What specifically was hit? What do we know about what was hit inside of Iran?
We do know that authorities there are also still looking at the damage, but it appears that nuclear enrichment sites, other fuel enrichment sites were hit across the country, the massive expanse of Iran, and that significant damage was done. The director of the IAEA, the UN's nuclear watchdog, said that Iran's main enrichment facility was actually completely destroyed. And in addition to that, many top Iranian military commanders, top Iranian nuclear scientists were also taken out. So this was a range of these big, massive strikes, and also precision attacks carried out by Israel's spy agency.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're hearing in Iran right now on the ground. Protesters, they're shouting this. That is death to America. The U.S. State Department continues to say this is nothing to do with the U.S. They were not involved with the Israeli strike specifically last night. But should we be on high alert now?
Well, we do know that Iran has made it very clear that it would interpret any strike by Israel on its nuclear facilities as having been at least condoned by the United States because of course, the U.S. and Israel are such close allies. that unless it got an implicit kind of green light here, the assessment from Iran is that Israel would not have gone ahead with these attacks. But looking at Iran's strike capability, really Iran is much, much more likely to hit at U.S. military holdings in the Middle East. And the State Department has advised Americans across the Middle East and North Africa to be on high alert. So they are watching that situation very, very closely. But right now, there are no plans to evacuate any American citizens.
How did this help at all? Because I was looking at the demonstrators as well. They're saying that, we were supposed to sit down and do some more negotiations. And a lot of people on the ground at these huge demonstrations in Tehran are saying, let's not do that anymore.
Look, that is the million-dollar question. The president is trying to spin this as something that's going to play to his favor, play to his negotiators' hands here. We do know that there was going to be a sixth round of high-level face-to-face nuclear talks between American and Iranian delegations. This is planned to happen over the weekend. Right now, Iran is saying there's absolutely no way. This is just not the right time for it. But the president anticipates that because Iran has been hit hard, they might be in a position where they are more willing to cut a deal. But there are plenty of people who will tell you just the opposite. And that's because they think that this is going to really embolden Iranian hawks who have been long pushing the regime to move forward, take those next steps in developing a nuclear weapon. So they do believe that this could spiral out of control.
Hey, Shannon, earlier you talked about damage assessments and target reassessment and all of that sort of thing. Iran is now reporting that they shot down 2 Israeli jets. Is there any confirmation of that? Do we yet know from Israel what they believe happened over the skies of Iran?
Well, that's something that we're still looking into. There's a bit of a fog of war element here, but we do know that Iran has made several false claims. Of course, we're looking at everything even more carefully perhaps than we normally would, because we do know that there are so many inaccurate claims out there. The Iranian authorities originally reported that they had taken at least one pilot captive in that incident. The Israeli government has come out and denied that, so it might be a little bit more time before we get clarity on some of these situations.
All right, Shannon, busy day at the State Department. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will continue to monitor this situation, obviously, as we head through the afternoon. Hey, coming up in just a little bit here, a big local story is a Milwaukee police officer was shot as he exchanged gunfire with a suspect on the north side of Milwaukee. That officer has just been released from the hospital, and the guy in charge of the men and women who serve and protect us, Alexandra Ayala, president of the Milwaukee Police Association, with us coming up at 4:15 this afternoon. It is 3:24. Terrible day for Wall Street. There are obviously concerns about the tension in the Middle East, about what the flow of crude oil could look like after Israel's attack on Iran. And the markets on this Friday, they're definitely reflecting that. The Dow, according to the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, was off 770 points today. That's closing in on 2%. The NASDAQ was off 255 points. That is 1.3%. The S&P was down 68 points. That is more than 1%. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no-regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing, and because her AccuNet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst-case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no-regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no-regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Traffic and weather on Wisconsin's Afternoon News is brought to you by Sweet Tox Med Spa. Self-love starts at Sweet Tox. The content on Wisconsin's Afternoon News brought to you in large part by Griffin Ford in Waukesha. They've got the great service department at Griffin Ford. As a matter of fact, right now, for $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires with free tire repair. Lifetime tire rotation cannot be combined with any other tire offers. Tires must be mounted, balanced, and installed at Griffin Ford. See Service Advisor for details. How about the selection on the lot? Griffin Ford has more than 170 new vehicles ready to be driven home right now. It doesn't matter if you're looking for a capable truck like that Ford F-150, the ultimate people mover, and the Ford Expedition, or you want to enjoy the warmer days in a Ford Mustang. Griffin Ford has the vehicle for you. And America employee pricing is going on right now. You pay what employees pay on eligible new 24 and 25 Ford vehicles. That's a great deal. Griffin has over 60 F-Series, America's best-selling truck, ready to be taken home today. It is Griffin Ford in Waukesha.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Will rates go up or down? We'll know more on June 18th. That's when the Fed announces its next rate decision. If you're wondering how the Fed's announcement will impact your decisions from buying a new home to planning your investments, join Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Dr. Brian Jacobson, for Instant Insight, 2 p.m. on June 18th. Instant Insight is when Annex goes live after important announcements like the Fed's announcement with their reaction and helps explain what it means for you and for your money. It's free. When it comes to your financial future, a bit of expert insight could help you understand what's going on. Visit WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com and register now for Instant Insight, the Fed and the Markets. June 18th at 2 p.m. It's live and it's free. After the Fed makes its announcement, register now. Visit WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com. Register now for Instant Insight, the Fed and the Markets, June 18th, 2 p.m. It's live and it's free, but you must register. Check it out.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
My name is Emma. I'm 25 years old, and I work at the Wisconsin Athletic Club. And I just love what I do here because I feel like I helped a lot of people. I hope that other kids can have a goal that they can move out and live independently too. I've had all these opportunities because somebody said yes to me.
Live life to the fullest with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that supports people with disabilities throughout their lives. Connect with a real-time navigator at thinkabilitywi.org today.
Your place on the lake, the Golden Mast Inn, offers lakeside dining, casual menu, live music 4 nights a week, happy hour, Sunday brunch, weekly specials, and more. Visit goldenmastin.com for details.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure, your top officer. A wounded officer exits the hospital.
I'm Julia Fello. Hundreds of more missiles are making their way towards Israel from Iran.
I'm Debbie Laziga. Southbound on 41, a hefty ride from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Appleton Avenue. And then you're back on the brakes from Hampton all the way down to Burleigh. More delays southbound on the bypass from Oklahoma Avenue down and around the Hale interchange all the way to about 58th Street. The westbound side slow out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to 68th Street. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Cloudy tonight, a low of 55. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 70 by the lake, 78 inland. Right now in Milwaukee, it's cloudy and 63 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the 30-year-old Milwaukee police officer injured overnight near the corner of 46th and Hampton is now out of the hospital. He was released this afternoon, less than 24 hours after he was shot in the leg during a pursuit. Police Chief Jeffrey Norman.
He's in good spirits. I am so proud of him and the work that he did for us. But we need to understand that, make sure that we are supporting him as he's doing his healing process.
The officer was shot in the leg by a 39-year-old suspect who was arrested at the scene. A 19-year-old was also arrested.
Israeli defenses have identified missiles launched from Iran towards Israel in an apparent retaliation for Israel's attack on Iranian military and nuclear facilities and officials overnight. So far, at least 21 people are hurt. Firefighters battling impacts in several areas. ABC News military analyst and retired Marine Corps Colonel Stephen Gagniard.
Let's wait and see if the Iranians do attack population centers within Israel and there are civilian casualties, because the Israelis have made it clear that they are only going after military targets within Iran. If the Iranians come after civilian targets, that's where we have the real possibility to open this up from a regional war to a global conflict.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will respond in force against Iran with more strikes of their own.
And the United States is shifting military resources in the Middle East in response to that conflict. According to two U.S. officials, the Navy has directed destroyers to move from the western Mediterranean toward the east. Another official says American fighter jets are patrolling the skies in the Middle East to protect personnel and installations.
Indian investigators say they have recovered the digital flight data recorder, or black box, from Air India flight that crashed a day earlier. The crash yesterday killed 241 people on board and at least 5 people on the ground. The Prime Minister there has met with the lone survivor of the London-bound Boeing 787 that struck a medical college and hospital when it crashed into a residential area, northwest city of Ahmedabad. Minutes after takeoff, DNA testing was being conducted to identify the victims.
The Milwaukee Public School District missing out on more than $40 million in state aid. According to a notice the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction sent to MPS, the state is currently withholding $42 million from the district because of late or missing financial reports. The state's also withholding $16 million in special education funding from 2024. DPI says it will release the funds to MPS when they turn in the required financial reports.
For the first time, Milwaukee County has a building designed just for health and human services.
The new $32 million Marcia Coggs Health and Human Services Center is officially open. It will provide a number of services, says Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
Access to housing support, to behavioral health care, to child and family services, crisis response, veteran services, and more for Milwaukeeans in this neighborhood and all across the city and all across Milwaukee County.
The 4-story, 60,000 square foot facility is located on West Cherry between 12th and 13th Streets on the city's west side. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
It's been considered an eyesore to many Green Bay residents, but the sea rice coal piles on the Fox River may soon leave its 35-acre lot to a new location near the Bay of Green Bay. Green Bay Mayor Eric Jenrich tells WTMJ how such a landmark deal was accomplished.
The stars have aligned here with the decommissioning of an old coal-fired power plant near the mouth of the bay. The federal dollars that I had referenced, the state support, city and county working together with a cooperative owner at Sea Rice. That's what's been really a game changer, is all of those.
If the deal is signed by both the county and Sea Rice, the coal piles will have a lease at a new location for the next 60 years.
A heads up, a new traffic path around Milwaukee this weekend.
This weekend, beginning tonight at 11, 894 eastbound will undergo a full extended closure between the Hale interchange and the Mitchell interchange. Like the westbound side last weekend, this 54-hour closure is necessary for final paving operations and is scheduled to last through Monday morning at 5:30. The westbound routes will stay open during the eastbound closure. The DOT suggests drivers using alternate routes, and all work is weather dependent, but if you want more information, head to WTMJ.com. Debbie Loziga, WTMJ News.
At the Lakefront Festival of Art, the Milwaukee Art Museum lawn is filled with art displays. The festival has its 60-year anniversary, bringing artists from across the country. Alma Nizil, manager of the festival, says events like this do more than just show off art.
Whether it's a story about a piece of art that they have in their home that's been there for years, and then that artist shows up at this year of LFOA. People coming here every year for Father's Day growing up, and so the community just really has deep connections to this festival.
With over 140 artists, the festival goes through Sunday.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers continue their series against the Cardinals tonight. Game starts at 7. Coverage begins with Brewers warm-up at 6 o'clock. Pacers and Thunder continue. The NBA Finals tonight in Indianapolis. The Pacers lead the series 2-1.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:36.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
The famous Fox and Hounds wants you to think about celebrating Father's Day this weekend out their direction. WTMJ's John Mercure telling you about the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. All dinners are buy one, get one free. And this Saturday only, check this out. Enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib and a 5-ounce lobster tail with garlic cream sauce, potato, fresh vegetables, super salad, and the Fox and Hounds warm bread with that honey cinnamon butter. For $79.99 for 2 dinners. $70.99 for 2 delicious dinners. Celebrate with your dad with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines. They've got the ice-cold tap beers, 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. The drive and the views are spectacular, and your second dinner is free. And this Saturday only, your prime rib and lobster dinner with all the sides, just $79.99 for 2 dinners. Call and reserve your Father's Day table and that free dinner today. Your dad's going to love it. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
MPA President Alexander Ayala joins us live talking about one of his officers being shot. We'll do that coming up here at 4:15 on WTMJ. But first, customers of 23andMe may be at risk of having their genetic data sold without their consent. The Attorney General is weighing on this. WTMJ Sean Brinda just spoke recently with the Attorney General, Josh Kaul, and Sean is with us in the newsroom. Hey, Sean.
Hey, John. So this is the first lawsuit of its kind where a bipartisan coalition of 28 states is suing the company 23andMe to prevent it from selling personal genetic data of millions of customers as part of its Chapter 11 bankruptcy sell-off. And Wisconsin State Attorney General Josh Kaul was able to talk with me earlier today about the lawsuit and what the goal of the bipartisan coalition is.
We are looking to prevent any sale of people's data of this kind without informed consent from the person whose data is being sold. We recognize that may, there are many people who that would apply to. But again, we believe that the ultimate control over that data should belong to the consumer and not to the companies.
Kaul says if the data is sold to companies, it could be used to exploit millions of consumers.
You could imagine that if that's information that somebody wanted to keep confidential because they didn't want folks to know what might be out there about their potential health outcomes in the future, this sale would allow that information to be transferred. So it's the kind of personal sensitive data regarding people's DNA and potentially their health that we normally think of as the kind of information that's very personal and ought to be protected. This sale would allow that information to be transferred, and that's why we are taking action to try to stop this.
Now, Kaul says, given that this is the first of many of this lawsuit, there could be many more on the way as more companies use personal and genetic data for products and services.
Certainly for us at the Wisconsin Department of Justice, this is the first time we've been involved in a case like this. As you may be aware, over the last several years, these kinds of companies where you can submit information and then receive back from the company's information about what your DNA shows have been popular over the last several years. And because of this bankruptcy, this has really become an issue now because it raises the possibility that these assets will be sold. So it's certainly possible that there could be other types of cases like this down the road. But in terms of what we've been involved in, this is our first one like this.
Sean's with us in the studio. Sean, what does this look like from a danger standpoint? Like, what's the threat here? Why is this a big deal?
Well, there's a lot of danger, actually. If genetic data is sold to various companies, it could be used for a lot of nefarious purposes, such as insurance companies who can deny or increase long-term care, disability care, or eligibility for life insurance. Other dangers include privacy risk. If some companies get access to your genetic code, it can be sold potentially to pharmaceutical companies who can use that to generate vaccines or drug uses. Research organizations or even third-party data brokers, law enforcement could use that data as well to use that data as a backdrop to finding suspects that could be within your family.
This is exactly why I've never gotten a genetic test. I knew this was going to happen. And now insurance companies can get your DNA. And doesn't this violate, Sean, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA law?
It certainly does.
So I
Makes
don't
me
get it.
nervous, too. I've never done that either. Makes me very, very nervous.
I know I am half Italian. That's all I need to know. It's all good.
Some days you're 100% Italian.
Exactly.
Sean Brinder with us in the studio. Sean, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
By the way, Carl says he's working with 27 other states to sue the 23andMe organization to prevent the sale of that data moving forward. It is 3:42 at WTMJ. You had a couple days this week where you were full on 100% Italian. And that's a compliment. You
or
were
200.
Yeah, there are days it's 200 at least. All right, at 3:42, we've got your traffic and weather coming up next. And then an update on the Lance Sidejohn Memorial renovation. I was out there just today.
Don't miss the Alan Parsons Live Project coming to the Riverside Theater Saturday, September 13th. One of rock's most spectacular sonic and visual experiences. The Alan Parsons Live Project will take you on a journey like no other. Tickets on sale now at PabstTheaterGroup.com. Produced by 111 Productions and Danny Zalisco Presents.
Sit Means Sit dog training, going to take good care of your dogs. Sit Means Sit's so good with our dogs. They are so good, they've even helped me take care of Greg Matzik's dog. I helped Matzik's dog be a better dog. That's how good they are. It's like 3 for 1. Bella, Baxter, and Matzik's dog's name is Knight, I think. It's Sit Means Sit. Happy, confident, obedient dog. They're going to take care of you big time. Free consultation. Start that way. That's what we did, and we loved it. You get to see the facility. You get to meet the trainers. They meet your dogs. That's the real way to go. Multiple locations offering a free consultation. It's Sit Means Sit dog training.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's worth $100 now to save thousands later. Vince Vitrano for Urban Heating and Cooling. Family-owned business. Ryan and his wife, Ellie. I had Ryan out to the Vitrano house for an AC tune-up. Cleaned out all the coils, checked for any issues that could cause breakdowns, set up my air conditioner to run more efficiently all summer. This service available in your home for just $99 plus tax, saving on your electric bills, helping prevent more costly repairs down the road. Tell them Vinny sent you when you call. UrbanHeatingandCooling.com.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
Christian Yelich just keeps on doing it. That was a bomb of epic proportions.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
With Yelich in the middle of this, it feels like a big league dangerous lineup. I got to avoid having base runners on for that guy, and that guy is Christian Yelich.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty.
At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
traffic and then weather. Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads this Friday?
Well, we are seeing some pretty hefty delays out there. Eastbound 94 starting from about Highway 67, between Highway 67 and Highway 83. Then you're back on the brakes from 92nd Street all the way through the Stadium Interchange. Westbound is backing up from about 25th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard, back on the brakes, heading past Barker Road to about Highway F, and then more delays heading past Meadowbrook Road. Northbound on 43, backing up out of the Marquette all the way up towards Keefe. Southbound is heavy from just before Capitol Drive, and those delays stretch all the way down onto the high-rise bridge. And the westbound 894 backing up from 27th Street all the way to 68th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cloudy tonight, a low of 55. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, 70 at the lake, 78 inland. Sunday, a slight chance of evening showers and storms for your Father's Day, but it'll be partly sunny throughout the day on Sunday. 73 by the lake will be your high, 81 inland. Slight chance of evening showers and storms Monday. It'll be about 80 degrees. Tuesday, a chance of showers and storms. The high will be 80 degrees.
Lance Saijan is an American hero. From Bayview, fighter pilot in the Vietnam War, his plane crashed in Vietnam, severely injured. He survived in the jungle for 46 days. He could barely move. He weighed 80 pounds, down from 220 when they found him. He died in the Hanoi Hilton, and his sister, after he was awarded the Medal of Honor posthumously, moved the plane that he flew in. They think he actually flew in this airplane that's outside of Milwaukee's airport. America's most famous POW, John McCain, called Lance Saijan a hero. That plane outside the airport has fallen into disrepair. And last fall, our listeners raised $80,000 plus to help renovate the plane. And you know what? The day's here. The crews that are working on the plane are there right now. And I had the chance this morning to meet Janine Saijan out at the site, and also Andy and Luli Bishop. They're the couple that are renovating the plane. And this was the very first time that Janine met the Bishops.
You can see the silver, the showing.
Yes.
That's all corrosion. It's loaded with corrosion.
Yes.
And that's just, I mean, the only way is just deal with it. You just got to keep going. So it'll cost some time, but that's just part of the deal. Look at the dice. We've gone and done somewhere we didn't have one bit of corrosion, or maybe a tiny little bit, and we've gone to the other end where it's just they're destroyed by it. This is somewhere in between, but it's, I mean, we're going to take whatever it takes to get all that done and get that fixed. But
we don't leave until we are happy.
Until you're happy. Exactly.
Now, I want to share something with you. I traced the tail number of this aircraft, and Lance most probably flew it.
Oh, wow.
So it was at the 366 where he was in Da Nang in 1967.
Amazing.
I believe he was in this plane.
Janine, what's it like to be out here with Andy and Luli, and they're here working on Lance's plane?
You know, I knew when I first talked to Andy that he was the one. And to stand here with you now after months of talking and
it's been a long time.
And see you and stand next to you and watch as you carefully, as we began to talk more specifically as this day came, all the details now. Now we're serious. Now we're real serious. And God provided me a path to find you.
Good.
And so literally I'm trembling. My whole body is trembling because that's when I know. That's when I know they're loving me hard from another place, and I'm just trembling. So thank you.
I tell you, we enjoyed this.
We're honored.
Lance, it's about Lance's legacy.
Yeah.
It's about protecting Lance's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I want the world to know.
Yeah.
I do too.
It really did hit home. I mean, it just did. I don't know why.
And the
it's
families
just
that love them, that are forever changed. There's the day their life was one way, and then for the Gold Star families, there's the life after that moment.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so I want to be a voice for the whole, those who serve, those veterans, those families that lost their loved ones, those that cannot find a path right now since they came back. My relationship with asking for help, which includes resources, which I backed away from my whole adult life because I didn't feel comfortable in that place. Asking for resources, asking for help. And John has opened a door for me now that says, just ask.
Yeah.
People want to help.
Yes.
Because it's our heroes.
Yes.
It's people want to help.
I mean,
They want to help.
This demonstrated so quickly for this
They don't know how sometimes. They don't know
They
that
don't
it's
know what to
needed.
do.
Yeah, they just jumped in there.
They're
though.
paralyzed.
I was so stunned when you would call me, and 2 weeks later, you're like, we got the money. It's all in place. I said, what on earth? I said, that's
John
crazy.
and all
it's
the
your
John's
story, though.
listeners.
It's you. You're
Yep, and
you
my
connect.
beloved listeners
That's right.
that answered the call.
It says so
and
much,
here
though,
we
for
go.
the community. It really does.
Yes.
It's great.
And you, our listeners, did answer the call. That was Janine Sijon with the couple that's renovating the airplane, Andy and Luli Bishop. If you want to see the project, including right now, I took pictures today, and hear Lance's story and see more detailed information, text the word JET, J-E-T, text the word JET to our hotline, 855-616-1620. Text the word JET. You'll see the work being done today on the Lance Sijon Memorial that you were also graciously part of. Text the word JET.
So beautiful. I love the family, too, that
They're
came up.
amazing.
A wife and husband duo that know
Yep.
how to do this specialized thing.
Yeah, all the way they come up from Florida. So on this Flag Day weekend, if you're looking for something to do,